Ladies and gentlemen, the following is a senior MMA contest in the bantamweight division and scheduled for 3 3-minute rounds. Your referee is Mr. Jamie Alderson. Introducing first of all and fighting out of the blue corner, hailing from London Fight Academy with a record of 0 victories and 1 defeat, Sidali Guedouari.
Well, Sidali, blue corner.
His opponent fighting out of the red corner and hailing from Doghouse MMA with a record of 1 victory and no defeats, George Brown.
George Brown out of the red corner.
Blue corner, Guedouari. Red corner, Brown.
Love to see the bantamweight division, Dave. Explosive.
Yeah, they're so fast, mate. Some heavy shots there from Sidali. George shooting in on a takedown.
Secures a takedown, but there was a bit of a scramble in there.
There was a bit of a scramble there. I thought for a second Sidali had reversed him.
I think it was the momentum in the throw or the takedown that caused the reversal briefly. But it is George on top now. Secured side control. Sidali just working to try and maybe re-guard here or create some space. But he's wrapped his man up.
Yeah, George has got good pressure here. He's inside control. He's not really giving Sidali any room to breathe. Don't be surprised if he looks to go knee on belly and pass into a mount.
Yeah, he looks to be creeping round, Dave. And Sidali's pretty active off his back, but only with the strikes. He's not working his hips too well here. Still stuck in the side position.
There we go.
There's the knee on belly that you called for. George's top pressure looks pretty decent so far.
He's got heavy top pressure here. Sidali just needs to, shrimp into him and maybe try and retrieve some sort of guard, and maybe get his back to the fence and work his way up a little bit rather than holding on. He can't just hold on and hope for the referee to stop it.
As he's holding on here as well, he might be stalling and hoping the ref stands him up. But he manages to use that to create a bit of space and scramble. In a bit of a north-south type position at the moment. But open guard now being played by Sidali, and he manages to use that briefly to stand.
Yeah, he was on one leg for a second. George straight in on that single leg, put Sidali straight on his back.
Yeah, George is relentless with his top
Yeah,
pressure.
he's now sat in like a half guard, and again, he's just slowing Sidali down a little bit.
He's got the arm under the neck. Just kind of cross-face. The throat with the shoulder. Posture's up now.
Yeah, George is going to posture up and try and throw some strikes. Just needs to be careful of the up kicks.
Sidali doing a good job of just kind of keeping that space between them at the moment. He could do with using that to get up to his feet. But George Brown,
yeah, good.
Lovely little sweep there, and uses it to get back to his feet. But
see, again, Sidali just made that mistake there of running at his opponent, and George level changed and got in on the legs.
Looking for a double here, but Sidali doing a good job of staying on his feet.
I was saying he's throwing a few little short shots, just chipping away at George. And although there's not a lot of power in them, they do start to mount up after a while. 10 seconds to go.
And here it is, a double leg attempt, and George secures that takedown right at the end of the first round, Dave.
That's it. That signifies to the judges, I'm here and this is my fight and this is what I want to do with his opponent.
Well, 2 takedowns, managed to secure top position twice in that round, so a good first round for George Brown.
Both fighters just receiving some instructions off the coaches. Minor adjustments will be made, and we'll see where we go.
All right,
Sidali looks like he's just got a little cut above his right eye. I'm not sure what that was from, whether it was a punch or a clash of heads during the wrestling scrambles.
George taking some deep breaths here.
Yeah, George did expend a lot of energy in that first round. As you know yourself, it's hard work to take someone down and keep them down for 3 minutes.
Inside leg kick, just glances there for Sidali. You can see that George is just looking at trying to find a home for the level change. Little touches with the inside leg.
Sidali with a nice lead hook. Heavy leg kick there from Sidali.
Another one. Got
And a
upstairs
heavy
with a head kick. Oh, Sidali's unloading everything in the kitchen sink, but gives up a single leg now. George in a single.
Yeah, Sidali's obviously got power in his hands and his legs. He's just a little bit reckless with his positioning, and that's what allowed George to get in on that leg. And
he's just leaving himself open a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit too excitable. But again, this is what amateurs are about. It's about that experience and learning these sort of things. But
and it's George covering up here against the fence.
A nice jab from Sidali.
Sidali pressing the strike in.
And that's where he needs to stay, just on that range there.
Lovely low kick.
Heavy leg kick there. But again, he overcommits and allows George to get in on that leg.
So George level changes here, but the underhook's probably going to stop his descent.
Yeah, it's always a question of how much energy these guys got left as well. Like I say, George has used a lot of energy in the first round and the first part of the second round.
He's looking for the leg trip here. He's in on a single. Sidali keeps using
looks like
left
he's going
arm,
for a
right arm underhook.
Like I say, these shots, they're not a lot of power in them, but they start to add up over the time.
And George, nice and sneakily, manages to get Sidali on his back inside the guard. Double butterflies in play now for Sidali. George just sitting tight, staying composed.
I say he's still eating some shots, though. Even though Sidali's off his back, he seems to have been generating a little bit of power on them shots. You know, every time George pushes up, he's eating a hand for it, and it's almost turned into a game of rock'em sock'em robots on the floor.
Well, it's like 50-50 here. If anything, it's Sidali landing them more frequent
the heavier shots. That's it.
Does a great job of pushing off the hips there and getting up to his feet.
Yeah, George looking for.
Yeah, he's fatigued. Just needs, but the knee to the head there is going to get a warning.
Yeah, he needs to be careful.
A little bit close to the mark there. And
yeah, to be fair, I don't think it actually landed. I think it landed on the gloves more than anything. This is going to be really unfortunate if this fight gets called now, guys. He was just warming up. I'd like to see the replay on that to see if it actually does land. I don't think it did. Let's have a look again.
It certainly went upstairs.
It definitely went upstairs, but I think he hit it more on his forearm than anything else. This is my argument with knees to the head at amateur. Yes, they're dangerous, but are they any more dangerous than a shin round your face?
I think you're in much more of a vulnerable position, Dave, when you do receive a knee to the head. Usually you're being pulled into it from the clinch position.
Okay, all right, I'll give you that. But, you know, if Sidali had have half stepped off then and threw a shin directly up to the face.
Oh, it could equally do just as much, if not more damage.
If not more.
I
don't know, it's a hard one.
I agree with you there,
he's going to get a point taken off, which is fair enough, I think. Yeah, that's fair enough. I'm pleased they haven't called the fight. And fair play to George. You know, he could have easily looked for a way out there and just gone, nah, I can't see straight. So,
well, these boys know the rules. As long as they stick to them, less need for the referee. Sidali now looking to smell blood and just encroaching, walking his man down. George looking a low kick to keep the distance, but he's on the back foot here.
Yeah, you can see the power difference in the striking there.
Inside low kick from Sidali. Returned by George.
They're going shin on shin at each other at the minute. They're going to feel that.
Well,
for me, Sidali needs to stay what he's doing, stay on his striking, put George back on the fence. For me, if I was George's coaches, I would be saying to him, you're getting on that single, you're getting on that double, you put him on his back and you keep him there. Yeah, don't give no positions away, secure the round, win the fight, get a round of experience under your belt. Sidali, you know, you can see his coaches giving him instructions there. I would simply be saying, stay in your striking range, stay in your distance, half step back, uppercuts when he's leaning over for the takedowns. And if the head kick's there, make sure it's there and not just throw it recklessly, because again, George will be looking for every possibility he can to get that takedown.
Yeah, and it's usually when, you know, somebody brings an onslaught or a combination, you know, and they just get a little bit carried away, that is when the takedown becomes available.
Absolutely, yeah, that's it. And, you know, if I was George in this position and I'd been roughed up a little bit, I'd be shooting for the takedown as well. I'd be thinking, right, I'm going to make this guy's hitting me, he's hitting me a little bit. Let's put him on his back and where his power's less. And
he seems to have some good control on.
Absolutely, yeah. And he's got good striking. To be fair, he's landing a few shots. He's hitting Sidali well, but I just think the power difference in the striking is quite evident.
Yeah, well, you can see him biting on little feints now, and George is not really equipped to stand in front of Sidali, and it's Sidali now pushing towards the fence. George,
yeah, I mean, George is doing the right things. He's throwing a few jabs and bits and bobs, and
he's just finding an opportunity to really change levels and expose his man, get underneath. But Sidali walking forward now with very little concern.
And that's it, and that's where he needs to not get reckless with it, because George will shoot on him. See, good overhand right there from Sidali.
Okay, so George decides to change levels. He's in on a single.
And again, he's going for that ankle pick.
He might get it here now that Sidali's down on his bum, and he ties up those legs. Sidali could be working hard.
And this is exactly what George needed to do. He didn't need to stay in the pocket or stay on the end of our striking exchanges. As much as he's a warrior and he's tough, and he was firing a few back, you could see the difference. No, definitely not. This is where you can see George is more comfortable, and this is his key to victory. He's
having far much success on
absolutely, top. Absolutely. I mean, Sidali's doing the right thing. He's got his back to the fence. He's going to try and wall walk and try and get up.
He needs to get his legs involved. Here we go. He's trying to fight to get his feet underneath him, bump his hips.
Yeah, and only just over a minute left. You know, the clock's ticking for both fighters. The judges got a hard job again on this one, I think.
Well, if the remaining minute plays out the way it is so far, it's currently George Brown in control now.
Yeah, I would agree with that 100%.
Top position, doing a great job here. Side control currently. Just staying heavy. Staying on the outside of those legs. Sidali struggling really to try and get some space with his hips and advance position. George now with a deep cross face. Bit of shoulder pressure. Great work with his legs, avoiding. Oh, but fantastic little reversal and escape there from Sidali.
Nice scramble back to his feet. Yeah, beautiful. That thing is, he's only got 25 seconds left to try and put George away.
I think if George can secure this takedown here, or at least finish the round against the fence, he may have secured both round 1 and round 3.
I would say so.
Oh, that
yeah,
was
Sidali playing to the crowd, and showboat in there, but
and he ended up getting double legs.
I would say he's on the bottom and he's eating shots. So
that was a foolish move, unfortunately, for Sidali there.
Yeah, I mean, and I appreciate it because he's an entertainer. He wants to entertain the crowd, but you know
that cost him.
that could have cost him a lot.
If it all boiled down to one takedown, that could very well have
absolutely
led to George's win.
Absolutely.
But a good fight to watch. I mean, you talk about striker versus grappler, Dave. I mean, you don't often see it as cut and dry as that nowadays. But that virtually
I think
was that type of fight,
yeah, I think so, yeah. I mean, Sidali had a few good scrambles and he managed to get back to his feet. But for me, the story of that fight was George's control, his takedowns, his positioning. Yeah, he did get tuned up a little bit in the striking, but never to the point of where he was overly hurt or anything. And obviously with Sidali having the point taken off as well, for me personally, I would find it very hard for him to get the win now.
Yeah, I got to agree with you there, Dave. I would score that 29-28 to George Brown. Obviously took the illegal knee, decided to get back in there, finish the fight.
Yeah, that's it. Like I say, fair play to George because, you know, we've seen high-level professional fighters use that as a window out.
Absolutely.
And he'd already been tuned up and had a few heavy shots there, so that could have been an easy out and an easy win for him, but he chose to continue and test his mettle, and that's what amateurs is all about. It's about that experience, it's about that cage time and fighting through adversity, seeing how you can
3 rounds
continue.
of action, we head over to the judges at ringside. Judge 1 scores this contest 28 points to 28 even. Judge 2 scores this contest 29 points to 27 in favour of the blue. And the third judge scores this contest 29 points to 27
draw, Dave.
in favour of the red. This is a split draw.
Yeah, you can't argue that, I guess.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for both
Yeah,
fighters.
I can kind of see that, Dave.
Sidali,
I thought George
Guedouari.
certainly had the advantage in the groundwork.